Sarah and Max, an unlikely pair in this wild podcast, they're the perfect flair. Sarah's charm, so feminine and free, a Cali girl spirit under the podcast tree. Max a strong force with a punch in every word. Together they navigate this dating absurd. Don't forget to hit subscribe, join the crew for more laughs and tales just for you. Now back to the show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to an episode of Good for Shidduch. I'm your host, Sarah Levine. Across from me is co-host and brother-in-law, Max Landisman. And we also have with us a special guest today, Gavriel Levy.
This is on another level of special. This is nerds. But yeah, anyways.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say that Gavriel literally just waved to everybody. But that's okay. You have to get used to using the mic. Just a couple housekeeping things just before we get into talking to Gavriel and what we're going to talk about on this episode. We wanted to say that we are very excited to announce that we have an Instagram page.
Ooh.
And it's at Good for Shidduchim.
Definitely good for Shidduch.
Everybody like, follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do. I think we have 15 followers.
But real followers.
Real followers.
Real dedicated followers.
That's
Yes.
right. Diehard followers.
Yeah,
who
I'm
believe in
actually
this.
really excited about that.
I'm
Like
very happy about
15, that's great.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, as long as I can make memes, it's totally fine. That's
Yeah,
fun for
it's
me.
basically going to be an Instagram for Max's Shadchanim memes, which are actually really great.
Right.
It's
thank
very
you.
entertaining.
And then we'll post about updates, about
Yeah.
new episodes, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
As of right now, we've been posting every Thursday around 12 o'clock, and we like to stick to that schedule. So as of right now, every Thursday at 12, new episode.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We're trying to get a little formal,
Yeah.
have a little formality.
Right.
We'll get there.
Yep.
It takes some time.
Yep. That's why you're on the show, and you're handling that stuff.
What, the social media? Well, to be honest, I did struggle with starting the Instagram page.
That's all right.
I'm
That's all
not
right.
so good at social media.
Gavriel will take over.
Is the data involved?
Yeah. I don't even know if you can extract
I'll run the
data.
analytics
You
out.
can tell me how many likes a post gets, and it's not even kindergarten to him. He'll look over like 2 billion data sets in like 14 seconds. And he does that on his weekend for fun.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
But the question is, are you good at social media on Instagram?
No.
Oh, okay. So there we go.
I mean, I can post, but I'm not a content creator.
Oh, but you can post.
Oh, the technical side I can help you with.
Oh,
sure.
okay. So see, I was struggling a little bit, but we'll get there.
Don't ask me to get in front of the camera, you know.
Oh.
Probably. Actually, maybe. We'll try sometime.
Well, listen,
Let's see.
we're so happy that you were more than willing to come on the show. Believe
Yes.
it or not, to get people to come on the show is like asking people to be witnesses for a mob case.
You know why?
Tell me.
Bad for Shidduchim.
You know what?
Is it?
That's what
Chas
people
v'shalom.
think it is,
That's
but
what
I
it
think
is. I
think it's actually phenomenal for Shidduch.
It's not good for Shidduchim? It's
They
bad?
think it's bad for Shidduchim.
They think, yes.
They think
Yes.
they're like, well, like there are so many amazing stories. I can't even reference it because whatever, he'll probably get mad at me, but people just they don't want to come on because they're like, well, I have a sibling in Shidduchim, and I might say something on this podcast that might somehow get him in trouble and make her sister suffer. I'm like, this whole thing is ridiculous.
I
It's
didn't know
ridiculous.
we were infamous.
It's not even
Not yet.
like
Not yet, soon.
Not yet.
so far. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
What are people nervous about? Like, that they'll have a bad association, I guess, with our podcast?
Well, this is kind of why
So
we
I
have.
don't think you understand. Like, there's literally nothing. Like,
It's literally it's
anything
microscopic.
can be bad for Shidduchim. Anything.
Wow.
Anything and
But
everything.
this is kind of why we have a podcast like this. To
Yes,
kind of,
thank God.
Kind of, you
Chas
know,
v'shalom, as you say.
because we want to put a spotlight on it because nobody will, right?
Yeah.
Also, I find it very enjoyable to kind of spew a bunch of stuff that I deeply do care about. At the end of the day, as much as I joke about it, I do care about this, and I feel like just nobody's doing anything. So screw it.
Good thing is, you don't have these problems with me. All my siblings are married for a long time.
Class day show.
And any
okay.
reputation that I've built up, I don't even know if I still have it. So if I do, awesome. If not,
Whatever. Who cares
You know,
about
it's all
that,
good.
That's right.
Gabriel?
That's right.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
happy to have you.
I also wanted to throw out a quick disclaimer. We've been told by a couple people that like all shadchanim aren't bad, and we do agree with that. We don't think that every shadchan is terrible and like not having the best interest at heart, but that's not what this podcast is about.
Right.
This podcast is about our personal experiences that have been not so good, and which involve shadchan, dating, and all that jazz. And
Right.
we're projecting it onto this podcast. So
Right.
that's correct. We agree that not all shadchanim are terrible and don't have an agenda. There are definitely a lot of shadchans that put their heart and soul into making matches, and they do it truly to make sure people are happy, and there is good intent behind what they do. But having said that, that's not exactly what this podcast is about. And if you feel that it is, and that's what we're going to be talking about, you do not have to listen.
Yeah, definitely don't. Yeah, you don't have to listen to those putting a gun to your head, but it is entertaining at the very least. But I mean, yes, correct. It's almost like talking about anything else. I don't know, like current events. I'm not going to bring it
Max,
up because I've been
do
yelled
not,
at. I'm not going to do
please.
it. I'm not going to do it. But I'm saying it's not like we can have a podcast and talk about all the wonderful things Shadchanim are doing. You know, then it's a terrible show. We want to talk about the problems, and that's where it's at. So yes, of course I'm sure there are good shadchanim out there, but it doesn't really do anyone any good by saying that. We're talking about the problems, not necessarily what's good with it. Nobody cares about that. But
Right.
you know,
We're here to talk about what's
Gavriel
been
agrees.
falling through the cracks.
yeah.
What? And
And
Gabriel?
Gavriel agrees.
I do.
Definitely.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so our guest is Gavriel Levy. He is
And
basically, we wanted to, yes, he is single ladies.
ladies, they don't have. Do they have to be single? They can. You know.
What? I'm just saying
joking.
that he is single
He's
ladies.
single, yes.
And he will tell us kind of his background, what he does. But why Max and I wanted to have him on the podcast was actually to go over spending and money and how much an average date would cost somebody. I think a lot of guys do spend a lot of money, or a lot of girls have in the back of their mind that the guy should put up X amount on a first date or something like that. So Gavriel, yeah.
But why is this case different from all other cases? Why are we
Why?
asking Gavriel? Because it's like when you think about it, think about all the dates you've been on, and ask yourself, how much do you think you spent over the years on dates? He actually knows. He has data set. I don't even know what you call them, data sets. He actually has what do you call it? Like
He has
a
a-
platform.
Yeah, data set.
Data set, or what's like on your screen, or a platform, whatever.
Dashboard.
Dashboard.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
he has a
Analytics.
Such a
dashboard.
I feel like Shlomi is laughing at me because I don't know what a dashboard is. He's
But
laughing.
he showed it to me. Gavriel showed me everything. I honestly couldn't understand it.
He's got. Can I say like the kind of filters you have on there? We have it down to filters such as the actual date of when they went out, whether they're Sephardi, Ashkenazi, or anything in between, Christian, whatever.
We're gonna focus more on the spending habits, though, not
The
not
amount of money they spent, where they went, was it good, was it bad?
I focus on the spending part for sure, but I
Yeah.
think it's also important to like understand. Like I've been, I don't know, dating seriously probably for 6-7 years now, almost 7
Yeah.
years. It's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't start doing this, when I was 24. That would
Right.
be crazy. Not crazy now, but
Yeah.
back then it would have been crazy.
Right. You weren't into data yet. You weren't into
That's
data
true. I
yet.
wasn't. Yeah, no. When I started this, when I started dating, I think it was gonna be a lawyer.
Right, and you finally saw the light and realized being a lawyer is terrible.
So I became a data analyst instead.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
Okay, so let's just get into it. So, Gavriel, where did you go to college?
So I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University. It's here in lovely Teaneck, not too far from where I live currently. Mm-hmm. That was about 7-8 years ago now, I think I started. And I graduated a year or two after that. I transferred.
Mm-hmm.
I have a degree in business administration, which naturally is totally useless in my current profession, and I'm proud of it.
Okay.
help
Do you
out.
have any other degree, or that's it? That's what you're practicing with?
Right now, that's what I'm
Yeah, that's what you have. Oh, okay, great. And you don't have to say like who you work for or where you work, but just like in general, like what is your job? What do you do?
So I'm a data analyst. Why are you laughing?
Why are you laughing?
'Cause it's-
You know that already.
Why? Nothing. Whatever.
I'm a data analyst. I've been in the
Say
field
what's
for
right.
about 3-4 years now or so. I currently work at like a healthcare startup. I head up all things data, so that's literally anything related to data. So all reporting, data visualization, automation, everything comes to me. Like I'm the first stop with everything data related. So thank God, I really like it. I really enjoy the field.
You've come a long way.
I have,
Like,
sure.
damn.
Thank God.
Within just a short amount of time, within like 2 years.
Yeah. Listen, I work really hard, and I think I'm decently intelligent. So
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to actually say one thing, that if a shadchan were to be sitting with Gavriel and ask him what are you looking for, or who are you, etc., and then she's going to pitch a girl, she's going to say a bunch of that crap, whatever it is. I just want to show you what I would say to a girl and how you sell someone. What do girls care about? And girls, you can disagree with me or not, but I think, I mean, Sarah, you can tell me if I'm wrong. They care about height. They care about height. They care more about height, and they care about if he's rich, does he have a good job? And also if he's tall, if he's taller than her. So all I'm going to say is, ladies, he's a tall man. He's about close to 6 feet. Well, 5'11".
6 feet. No,
about
exactly
6 feet,
6
like
feet.
my
Exactly.
height.
Okay.
And he's got a very good job.
It's not an exaggeration.
There you
He's
go.
got a very good job, pays very well, and data analyst, that job's not going away anytime soon. They're going to need more and more of those. So that's all you need to know. What else do you need to know? He makes money, does well, there's a future, and he's tall. Anything else doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you guys are interested and want to send your resume to goodforshidduchim@gmail.com, that's great.
Whatever. We will read them over the line.
and we can send them to Gavriel.
Right. But I just wanted to say that point just to show what I would do. But yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
that was really nice.
Well, when you
Max.
get married, you'll thank me later.
Okay.
Shut close.
I also wanted to ask you, I don't know the term for it. This is not my field at all, as you can tell, but what systems do you work with?
So I work in SQL, PostgreSQL. SQL is a coding language.
Okay.
Right, Sarah?
Let's get into this only because you asked.
I just want to make sure and get the
Yeah.
picture out there that this is what you do, and
Yeah.
you know what you're talking about when it comes to data.
Yeah.
Power BI is the way to go.
It's not like you just decided to run these numbers. This is a legitimate dashboard, and it's not just kind of off a whim. It's you know what you're talking about, and you know what you're doing when it comes to this stuff. You're a professional in this field.
Correct. Put it this way: if you gave me the similar data, or maybe a slightly different type of data, I can make that very useful for you.
Yeah.
No joke. I've seen the dashboard. He takes a bunch of random data points and makes it look digestible. You know exactly.
Digestible, intelligible, and
Exactly.
useful, most importantly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
So I work in I'm a SQL developer. I work in Microsoft Power BI mostly, Tableau. Anyone who works in my field will know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And I hope they're listening.
Yeah. So I've. Should we talk about the dashboard?
We could. Yeah, absolutely.
Let me
Really.
just ask you.
Sure.
I wanted to ask how much on the first date did you spend in total? And this would be including, let's say you picked the girl up, so travel,
Sure.
gas, and then you took her out for a dinner. How much on average?
On a first date?
Well,
on
do
a
you
first
take a
date.
girl out to dinner? What do you do?
No,
though?
not anymore.
Oh.
So I used to, and this is something we're gonna, I think we're gonna talk about how data affects, decision making. So this is
Right, sure.
an early example of that.
Yeah.
First of all, let me back up a second, just before.
Yeah, for sure.
The reason why I created this thing in the first place was, a couple of years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago now, almost. When I was learning this software, I was learning, the field. I wanted to create something unique, something interesting, and something that pertained to me. And I had the idea to start tracking this stuff on an Excel spreadsheet.
So how long has this? How long have
yeah.
you been tracking the data on it?
Oh gosh.
Don't
So
say that public.
Well, is
No,
it
no, no, no.
data
I'm
or
joking.
is it data?
That is the question.
Oh,
I
okay.
think saying data is kind of like saying finance. It's like you're just a complete
I never thought of it
douchebag
that
if
way,
you say
but-
I
it.
don't know. I'm from Pittsburgh, so sometimes I say
You're
things
right,
really
Max,
weird.
when you say that, because
Right,
like
thank you.
whenever anyone, I always said data. I always will say data.
Right.
Data. Right. It's like almost like you
Data.
don't know how to pronounce the word data.
Okay, fine. So I'll say data.
You can just text the, you know. and
Yeah,
how
that's
do you-
okay. That's fine.
If you
No,
write
I
it in
feel like
text,
you
like you
guys
can just
are
say
gonna
like,
bully
you know,
me the whole
is it
time
pronounced
if I
data or
say
data?
data.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So how long have you been collecting this
So
data?
like I think I got it down on paper, not on paper, on an Excel sheet, because only Max writes numbers down on paper, and you know it adds them up, you know, with
It's
a
true.
pencil and paper.
I'm old school. That's why I'm a
Yeah.
sales guy.
Max knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But probably about 2 years ago, I think, something like
Okay,
that.
so
something
you
like
started-
that. So
and
obviously,
how-
I've been dating for 6+ years at this point. But I
But
got
this is over the course of how long? Like the data is like from a course of how long?
6 years.
6 years
Covers
total.
about 6 years. Yeah, I think
Okay.
since 2018. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you though? Like, do you know on an average day, like how much you spend on a date?
Yes, but let me hang on. Right, so and the financial part, that's my own like personal finance stuff.
Okay.
So that I track some of that stuff anyway, and then
Yeah.
I kind of got them all together, right?
Okay.
So that's there are two separate pieces over there. So how much? I have.
Should we look at the dashboard? Like, if you need to, you can
Yeah.
open it up and look at it.
I don't need to, but I'm going to open it.
I feel like he's been dying to look to open it anyways.
It's very beautiful.
No, it is. I've seen it before.
That's part of
It's very
the
impressive.
presentation. You got to make it interesting,
It's very impressive.
engaging. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But even before the podcast, he's like, "Can I open it and show you?" Whatever. It's like this
That's
is only
only-
audio.
That was to Shlomi more, not to you as
Uh-huh.
much. You
Even though-
appreciated it after, but you
course.
didn't know what it was, like what a dashboard was, until I really showed you.
Well, of course.
the
Well,
guts of it.
Right. When we first met, we couldn't like talk directly. I'd have to go through Shlomi. Too much data stuff. But now that we've been friends over, I don't even know how long it's been.
Couple years almost.
Yeah, probably. No, we can talk now. I can just yell out Power BI, whatever, and act like I know what I'm saying, but I don't. But anyways, we can get back to the dashboard.
Yeah, so I mean, I have most accurate data for the past year, financial data, right? So because I wasn't tracking even now, I'm not tracking every single, if I don't know, buy a bag of M&Ms, in a gas station for $3, I'm not necessarily tracking that, but definitely like the most important things, right? Like travel, the actual activity, or the rest, the restaurant bill, tolls of gas, that kind of thing. Yeah, so this past year, I'm looking at my dashboard right now. It is. You want to see? Here.
This is amazing. Like, I wish I had this info.
See,
Look
There
at
you
that.
go.
There we go.
That looks like a TD Ameritrade account.
It's like literally color coordinated.
By the way,
And
this is way more
Yeah.
advanced than the last time I saw this.
okay, so walk us through. Okay,
Total cost.
so on an average date, how much?
So I have here for 2023. We just finished 2023, so I have data from the past year. It's $42.85.
That's really good.
On the first, wait, let's back
No,
up.
on the first day.
On the what is this then? The average of what?
The average of all dates, I think.
Yeah, this is the total cost divided by total number of dates per girl.
Yeah.
So dates per girl was basically $43 per date.
Correct.
That's the
And
total
do you
alone is
feel-
like 26.
Yeah, it depends what it is. Sometimes
Yeah.
the girls are from lives nearby. If they're in Jersey, maybe
Yeah,
they don't have
yeah.
to go over the over the bridge that much or through a tunnel and pay
Okay,
crazy
so
taller.
if you needed, if a guy is thinking about like how much it would be for a first date, just in general, off of your data, shell out $45 basically.
I think that's like at a minimum.
At
I
a
mean,
minimum.
I think I'm fairly frugal with this kind of thing, especially now. Not because I'm intentionally trying to be cheap, just more because, well, why don't I go out? Why don't I take girls out to dinner on first dates? Like, frankly, I don't want to spend a ton of money, right? Even just
Right.
driving to New York.
And this is
Yeah.
the $43 is not taking somebody out to dinner, right?
No, that would be including.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
included.
There's a lot of variables involved.
Yeah,
Variables.
yeah.
That's a data word for you.
I know variables.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that this is a lot of money? This is like an average amount.
I think this is probably pretty low.
This is
compared to what
low.
Other people do.
This is
yeah.
low.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
about certainly if you live like further out. Like I live in a very centralized location. Thank God. Right? So I live in Teaneck. If I go out, I'll date girls from the West Side or from Brooklyn, or from even Teaneck, wherever they come from. Like I'm not traveling 3-4 hours, and I'm certainly not flying much.
Right.
At all. Not much. I haven't flown at all. Let's be really. Maybe I should.
But okay, so let's say you have a date Sunday, you have a date Wednesday, a date
So let's go through
Thursday.
this. So if she's from New York. Let's say she's from the West Side, all right? So that's right near Teaneck.
God forbid. All right,
Facts.
I'm sure you'll have an episode on that at some point.
We'll get to that, by the way. He was the one that was with me at that event.
Okay.
Just saying.
Anyways.
Continue.
So yeah, like just getting over the bridge is what, $15, something like that. That's so.
More. Yeah.
Is it?
I think it's over 20 or something.
Not the GWB, no.
Is it not?
It's like $15, something like that.
The
The Verrazano might be 20.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's
Maybe.
like the highest bridge toll in the country, something like that.
I feel like it just keeps going up. So.
Okay, so
But
the
yeah.
bridge toll.
So let's say, and I'm not even counting gas here because like the West Side is on a good day, no traffic, it's like 20 minutes, right?
Okay.
But if you're driving to Lakewood or to, which I've done,
Right.
or to like Five Towns,
Yeah.
that's rough. Like that's certainly on a regular weeknight, we're talking almost 2 hours.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
dead.
With traffic,
So
everything.
how much average? How
So that'll
much
cost
gas
more in,
would you-
in gas, right?
How much would it be?
Yeah, we're getting the nitty gritty over here.
We're getting really
Right.
Jewish.
No, let's get in the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
How much would that? Okay, so think about that. Let's say you're driving to the Five Towns.
So driving to the Five Towns, let's say. So we're talking 2 bridges, probably, right? So we're talking the GWB and probably the Whitestone. I know that's the Queens. Maybe there's another. I forget what it's called. Definitely the Queen. I think it's Whitestone. I think definitely 2 bridges. Let's say that's like between $20 and $25. Just
Okay.
tolls alone, right?
Just tolls.
Just tolls.
We
tolls.
didn't even get to her house yet.
We haven't even paid for gas yet.
We didn't even pay for gas yet. Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking gas. So
You
that's
still
just
got an
tolls.
hour to go to pick her up.
Gas. I mean, to fill up my tank, depending on the price of gas, it's easily like
I think it's
40,
like-
$50, right?
Right. I think it's close to $3 now. Maybe
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$2.90.
Right. And the summer months, it's usually like much, I don't know, $3.70. I remember.
Right.
something
Yeah,
like that,
almost
right?
$4.
Yeah, when people are going out more. So I can't give you an average like number for the amount that I spent on gas per se, but everything else I can. Yeah, so let's say it's 5 towns. So that's 2 bridges, right? So that's $25, right? Before even getting there, right? Once you get there, happens to be I think 5 towns and Queens, Brooklyn, those 3 places I think are fairly difficult to date in, just because certainly like on a weeknight,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's hard to park.
which we talk
also.
about. Oh,
It's hard
that
to-
for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Parking's not so terrible. What do you mean?
What?
Where? In 5 towns?
Well, not
But why
5
is
towns.
it so
Not 5
terrible?
towns. But
Why is it so
Queens is very
terrible?
difficult.
Depends on where.
Why is it
depends
so
where you are.
terrible to go out in Queens?
There's just not so. I don't find that there's so many places to go. That's all. There's a.
Oh, gotcha.
There's that like lounge I think in LaGuardia. What's it called? TWA.
Yeah, TWA.
TWA?
Yeah.
Something
It's actually
like-
really nice.
It's actually really
There are
cool. I've been there
many-
once.
I was there one time also recently.
All the shidduch dates are there.
All the
shit-
shidduch
shit
dates are there.
But it's a cool place.
It's definitely cool, yeah. So, but in general, like, so there are restaurants over there, right? So, but if a girl
Right.
lives in Lawrence or Cedarhurst or something, she's not. You're not taking her out to Central Avenue and going out on a date there. That's
Why
so-
not?
It's far.
You should know this.
Why? Because it's so central.
Girls don't like to go places where they're going to see everyone they know.
Yeah.
Like girls
I
from
don't like
Flatbush,
it.
they
Yeah, we
will
spoke-
not go out to restaurants in Flatbush.
Yeah, I
God
don't
forbid
like
they
that.
should see me with a guy.
You
Oh my
must
God.
drive 40 minutes to Crown Heights, and then circle around half an hour for parking.
Oh my god.
That happened to me once.
Okay.
That did happen to me once.
That is really. That sounds terrible.
Yes.
But okay, so we're over 2 bridges.
Yeah.
We paid for our gas.
Yeah.
How much money?
Let's say like $10 for gas, minimum, right?
Okay,
Probably
so we're
more
up
depending on how much.
$35.
At least, right? At least that.
Okay, and let's say you do have to pay for parking because you can't find any parking on the street.
How much is a parking ticket? Not a parking ticket, like a ticket to park at a
To
lot.
park, it could be like anywhere between like $15 to $25
Easily,
in the
right?
city,
Easily, yeah. Oh, in the city for sure, yeah. Definitely,
right?
Definitely.
So I don't know how much it would be in Lawrence, and then where are we taking the girl?
Let's say we take her out for dinner on a first date. I don't do that much these days. I used to do it more earlier in my dating career. I don't do that so much now, both because
Right, why is that?
honestly, it's not the cost so much. Like I'm not that cheap. Like I try to be financially responsible,
Right.
fiscally responsible.
You're talking to a guy who's also stopped.
But
at
no,
that,
I think
so-
more, and I think Sarah can speak to this more. Like I think a lot of girls don't. If they feel like uncomfortable going to dinner on a first date, certainly to like a very
Yeah,
fancy
I
dinner.
mean, it depends on like the girl.
If I took a girl out to
I
like
hear you.
Wolf on Lamb on a first date, like, what if we don't?
They're
What if
not
she
going
doesn't
to order
like
anything anyways.
She might.
So, depends who.
I think it depends on the type of girl, and I feel like you would get this sense of where you're gonna take the girl you're gonna go out with. You know what I mean? Like I
Special
feel like
treatment, you mean?
no, what?
You're saying like based on who it is, that's the restaurant you choose?
Yeah, like if you're talking to somebody, right? Like you
Yeah.
call somebody to decide like where you guys are gonna meet, what day is good, what hour is good, whatever works for them, and then you'll get like a vibe of like what she'd be interested in.
I
Like
guess it depends on the context. Yeah, like recently I went out with somebody.
it depends on the context.
Oh my
All right.
gosh. I know that those words have been poisoned. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, it depends on
We're
the
not
context.
a political podcast. It's fine.
Oh gosh, I've been like catching myself using that phrase. I'm like, oh gosh.
But I mean, it's part of your job. It's fine.
Context?
Yeah,
Literally.
context is
It's
literally
everything.
yeah.
This is true. Yes, yes, it is. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah,
But it depends. Again, yes, it depends on the context.
it does depend on
Going back
context.
to what I was
It's fine.
saying, like if I'm talking to somebody for a while, or for recently I went out with somebody who she's from out of town and she was came in to visit friends, and
Mm-hmm.
we'd been talking for a few months at that point. I absolutely was very happy to take her out to a nice dinner and to spend money on her.
Right. Yeah.
Because we had already developed somewhat of a relationship, right?
Oh, gotcha. Mhm.
Like she wasn't a total stranger by the time
Right.
I first saw her in person.
Gotcha.
Right? Like that's very different from a shotgun calls you up. I have this amazing girl. Oh my gosh, she's just the nicest.
Just the nicest.
the
Do you know
nicest.
anything about her? No.
No, Max, I've literally had that conversation. You know this. You know this.
I don't know anything
Have you ever
about
talked to
her,
her?
but
No.
she's perfect for you. She's
Just the
perfect.
nicest.
It's like I don't know what's perfect for me. How could you know?
Yeah.
Whatever, fine. But like that, like I'm just much less willing to put shell out that kind of cash.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Like literally, like Noidu, even like a somewhat decent, nice restaurant, even in
Oh,
the city, let's say.
$85
Easily.
Easy.
And Noidu is not a steak. I'm talking the cafe, so the dairy.
dairy.
The
Yeah.
cat,
Dairy.
yeah.
It's not a steakhouse. It's
No.
not a crazy.
But it's so good.
They have delicious food.
Delicious.
Plug for Noidu here.
Yeah.
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 What
Look,
would you get from Noidu?
Oh gosh. Any other pastas? Which is they make great pasta, but I have a thing about like not buying stuff that I can just easily make at home for $5.
But theirs is
So
so good.
I mean, I
the
could-
personal pies are really good.
Yeah,
Their
I was gonna
desserts,
say,
their
I don't-
desserts are delicious.
I don't like pizza.
No?
But their pizza is amazing.
Wow, really? You eat pizza from there?
I
had no idea.
love their pizza.
I
You
didn't
don't
know
eat
you
pizza.
I didn't know
and
you
I
didn't
do
like
not
pizza.
eat
Incredible.
pizza.
So interesting. Wow.
Incredible.
Anyways, we're a little off topic, but
So easily $85. Easily 75, 85. Just that's if you're not getting dessert
okay.
or you're not getting drinks.
Right. No, but backing up,
Yeah.
going back to, let's say you had to drive 2 hours to Long Island, average that date would be how much money?
So the longer I go out with a girl, the longer
No, first date.
just first date.
First date.
I try to keep it low. I try to.
Well, now.
Well,
Now.
how much?
There
Just
were-
give
there
us
was-
like a
There was a
ballpark.
time when I was spending a good $100.
Right, when
per
you were
date.
going out, right.
Okay, so guys
Between-
could
for
easily
everything
spend
combined.
$100.
Easily.
Yeah, it's not even,
Easily.
yeah, easily.
Easily.
And-
And we're not even
And
on
we
a
just said
second
we spent
date.
like $35-$40 on parking, on like gas and tolls alone.
Yeah.
That's before we actually do anything.
Now, do you feel that sometimes when you do shell out that amount of money, like a girl wouldn't understand like what like the effort that was made to come to that date, to meet her wherever she was? Like when I knew a guy was traveling far, I would try to make it like known, like I appreciate you coming. I understand there's traffic. I understand like how much it could be, and like I appreciate that. In some instances, I would ask to pay for the date because I knew that they would have to shell out a couple. It's not easy, so they're already putting in a lot of money before we even gone out. So do you feel that sometimes girls like didn't feel like you didn't feel, not that you should feel like showered with appreciation and thank you, oh my god, but like at least a little bit of that was really great that you came, and I appreciate that.
Permission to speak freely?
Yes, of course.
This is good for Shidduch. We say whatever you want.
I do not believe that most, at least from the data that I've collected. No, but for real, like I have emotions.
Yeah.
I have like feelings too, also. Like,
Yeah.
I know, like you had a psychologist on recently.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I thought, like now you wanted to go to like the opposite extreme and have like the human robot on it.
No,
That's what
my
makes
God.
you Gavriel. Like, you
Exactly.
can combine the data with the feeling.
Exactly. But sorry, what was your question?
Did
Oh,
you,
appreciation,
do you
yes.
feel
Yes.
not even like
I don't thi-
appreciative,
well-
but like do you feel that she understood, you know, what you went through.
So you just said that like you would like might offer to pay for some of the costs or all
Offer to
that?
pay for at least a little bit of the dinner. If we went out for like ice cream after dinner or something, I would offer to pay for that. Usually the guy would say, "Oh no problem." But
So if I were to take like all the girls that maybe Orthodox, you know, from girls out there, you know, and put it in a scatter plot.
Yeah.
Like you would be the anomaly all the way in the end.
Oh.
Because that is so rare.
So rare.
Oh,
so
yeah.
rare. Very rare.
I don't know if I expect. No, I don't expect it.
No, I'm not
Also,
saying
a
that
very
you
important
should
point over here.
expect
Also,
it.
like very important point. I don't like. If I like a girl, I am so happy to spend money on her.
Right.
So happy.
Right, but we're talking about a first date.
First date. So that's the thing.
Date, right.
Exactly that. If I don't like, I don't know if I like her yet.
You don't know if you
I
like
don't
her
know
yet.
if I like her yet.
But I would have like a couple friends would come up to would be talking to me and be like, this guy was late for the date for like, let's say a half hour, and I would say
a guy
half hour
without
late.
telling you?
No, but I'm saying like if I would ask my friend like, okay, where's he coming from? And like if he was coming from a place that would be like an hour and a half away, give him like some time to get there.
No, there's no question about that. But
Wouldn't he like
needs
text
to
you?
call you?
No, he would call her.
Yeah,
he would definitely call her.
Yeah.
But she was like, should I like think about it? Like, was it rude that he was late? And like, he was coming, like,
Right.
let's say from Staten Island into the city. Like, oh my God,
Yeah,
give
that
it, cut him a
Is that
break.
far? Which part of the city? The west side?
Doesn't matter.
Staten Island to the west side. Is that far? I don't even know.
But you just kind of have to have like, I don't know. I do feel like there's a little bit of an entitlement that from women,
unfortunately,
who are
I think you're
share.
right. Unfortunately,
That the guy has to come to you, he has to pick you up. A lot of has tos, but I personally don't think it has to be that way. I mean, meeting in the city or meeting at a mutual like meeting ground, I think is also totally fine.
I love that, and the older I get, not that I'm so old, although I just turned 30.
Yeah, a lot of
30.
stuff.
Oh,
Still
right.
young.
Still young, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
I think that, like, the older I get, and the longer I do this, I am certainly a lot more likely to ask a girl to meet me halfway, especially if it's like on a weeknight. Like, I literally cannot get to Brooklyn.
Exactly, that's
on a
another
weeknight,
thing.
And she's working in the city.
Yeah.
And she's in the city anyway. Absolutely, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I once went out with a girl who said to me, like, she's from Brooklyn, and I said, we were trying to plan a date, and I said, oh, like, you know, I guess, do you want me to pick you up or whatever? And she's like, absolutely not. I'll meet you in the city. I would never ask you to come.
Oh.
That I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was super considerate.
Yeah, that's very
Again,
considerate.
she's, you know,
The
the anomaly in the scatter plot.
Right.
It's unusual. I think there's definitely entitlement. You're right when you say
Yeah.
that. I think some women think that, I also put in a lot of work, so, you know, it's kind of equal, but I'm here to tell you, I just don't see that it's equal. Not that women not that girls don't put in effort, because of course they do, of course, but just
like physical effort.
the physical, you know, upfront effort, everything from
Right.
saying yes to the girl, to potentially getting rejected, to having to plan the date, and to travel and all
she
that.
has to like the planned date. A lot of people will come out and say, well, you know, he's not being chivalrous if he doesn't pick me up, if he doesn't wine and dine me, if he doesn't drive a long distance and not complain about it, you know, all these things. Like, what does chivalry look like in today's dating, I guess is my question.
I don't think that chivalry is dead at all. Absolutely not. I do think if a girl does think that, what you just described, I think that's a wee bit entitled. So, you know, especially also after a certain age. Like, you know, if I'm 30, if I go out with somebody my age or a little older, a little younger.
They should understand financial situation.
Literally,
and
like
overall,
we're both, you know, supporting ourselves, and hopefully, you know, maybe that's another thing to point out. I think, right? If a girl's living at home,
right.
she just simply might not have like the awareness of what it might be like to have to pay your
Right.
own rent. I live on my own. I have a roommate, but you know, like
You're independent. You
I'm
make your own
independent.
money. Yeah.
I pay
And
for-
you wanna save for something,
I have
or you
insurance
have
to pay
your
for. I
yeah.
have rent. I have, you know, grocery bill. Everything.
It's about the perspective
yeah.
of who you're gonna go out with.
Correct.
And you can't just be closed-minded and think that your whole, like, because you live a certain way, like, I'm speaking from the girl's point of view, like, because I live a certain way, that's how he's gonna be coming from, you know what I mean?
And look,
it's not necessarily like that.
Some things might be fair. Listen, if I go out with somebody from Teaneck, from my own town, and
Yeah.
like, you know, I take her out to Vote Park, yeah, should probably put in some more effort, you know? I've never done that, don't worry.
Oh, it actually sounds like a nice date.
Yeah.
It actually may be fine, I don't know, but that's literally around the corner from my apartment. Like, I just don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that.
I understand.
So we'll take her, you know, somewhere else. Bergenfield or something. No. Even a little further than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so chivalry is definitely isn't dead. I think what I would say is I would love to see women allow men to be chivalrous towards them. Because I think like this attitude of, hey, oh, you know, bad behavior engenders more bad behavior.
Can you just explain a little bit more?
Like if
I don't understand.
Let's say a guy takes out a girl, you know, or at least bad behavior has consequences at the very least. If a guy, you know, likes a girl, you know, he's into her, and he takes her out to his restaurant, spends a ton of money on her, and then she just, you know, spits it back in his face. Maybe she's rude to him. Maybe you know she doesn't get back to him within a reasonable amount of time. Maybe she's just she does something that's unpleasant. You know, he's simply not going to. You know, men are more logical. You know? He's going to be less likely to spend that kind of money on somebody again. Like if you see bad, or if you've had bad consequences, right?
Right.
From an experience, then yeah, you're going to use that data, so to speak, you know, and change your behavior.
Okay. I do feel that there are, like you said, there are other ways that chivalry can come out, not necessarily like the ABC way of doing things, you know, like what people actually think like chivalry is.
Well, why is spending money on a girl like
And
equivalent
that's what
to
I'm saying.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
I guess I never really
like
thought
a lot
of it that way, but absolutely.
I hear from a lot of girls, you know, like, oh, we went here and like he spent this much on me, you know, and this and that.
Does it
like,
have to? Do you think that has to do with like what the priorities are?
Maybe, I don't know,
I hope not too much.
I do feel like chivalry comes out in different ways, and people need to be focusing more on those types of ways that it can come out, not just on the physical ways, and like not just on like picking up a girl in a Lamborghini.
Upper West Side. What do you expect?
Or opening up a car door for her.
I was going to mention. Yeah, I wanted to mention.
To me,
that.
I think that's a lot nicer. That's something a girl should care a lot more about.
But the fact is, like, of you opening up the car door on a Toyota 2004, like that's okay. That doesn't mean you're not chivalrous because you're not driving a Lamborghini.
I certainly think you're a lot more chivalrous than a guy who doesn't do that, driving a 2023 Lexus. Which I don't drive a 2023 Lexus. Okay.
Okay, Gavriel.
Is that even your car?
That's what I was thinking.
You should have told her to go walk. Yeah, this is my car. You want to walk?
Oh gosh.
Oh my lord. Or no, that's not my car. We're gonna walk there. Okay, Gavriel, I just wanted to ask you one more question.
Only one
we
more.
were looking.
I can go on about this for hours.
That's
Oh
what
my
she
gosh.
said. I had to. I'm sorry.
Basically, do you have any data on how much you spent on a single girl?
I do. Let's see. Like what year? What month? what second?
The fact that you have this data is amazing.
I honestly don't know how to
The
ask.
data type is date time, not
Gavriel,
date, so I can
have-
tell you. No, I'm kidding.
Slowly.
I literally don't know
I
how
cast
to
it from
ask
date
you
to
a
date time.
question.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't know how to ask you a question.
That's typical. Regular people.
Like I don't know. I don't know how to ask you the question.
That's fine. Regular
That's
people
fine.
also don't know how to talk to them.
Let's go through total spent per girl per year. And now,
Okay.
again, only the last 2 years are most accurate, but maybe I'll
Okay.
for also. Let's see. 2023, the most spent on a single girl is let's see, $256.
On one date?
This was 3 dates.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is still a lot, I think.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah. Let's see, 2022.
Hope it was worth it.
$10.
$510.
That was a long
How many
relationship,
dates?
But I forgot. It's a more serious relationship. Like it was probably more than that. I'm just not remembering.
Okay.
4
I have
dates.
everything. No, it was more than that.
Yeah.
Let's see, 2021. It was like COVID, I think, right? I still wasn't dating as much. Also, like I dated so many more girls this year than I've ever have before.
Oh, good for you,
Like,
Gavriel.
He's been hanging out with us more.
Living
No,
your
I'm
best
a glutton
life.
for punishment. That's what it is.
No.
Oh.
Okay, 2021. Come on. What was
That's
your...
in 2021. And again, like the further back I go in time, the less data I have. So
Gotcha.
I have $139. I think that was 3 dates.
Guys shell out
Yeah.
a lot of money.
2020, I think $90. But it was 2020. I think dated like 3 people that year.
They also during COVID, that's when FaceTime and
Zoom dating,
Zoom
baby.
was
Right.
socially acceptable, which
Exactly.
I think it still should be socially
I feel
acceptable.
like it still is good. Like
No,
socially.
people take. I mean, I don't know. You say like you want. I think we discussed this in like a previous episode, but The second you tell a girl I want to do a Zoom date first or whatever it is, forget it. I feel like it's a death sentence.
Nowadays?
Yeah.
I think, well, that goes back to, going back to chivalry. I think that's part of it. Right? I think a guy is seeing it more like, oh, he's hedging his bet. Because, like, God forbid he should ask a girl what her preference is or, her input on something. I actually think that could be really fun.
You should know already.
Before I even see her in person, I should read, I should read her mind, right?
You should know. You should know what she likes.
Yeah. I don't like to.
It's not fair.
So many girls. I don't like to decide. I really just plan it, and I don't give. Rarely on a first date do I give the option. Not in like a controlling kind of way, God forbid, but more like because that's what's appreciated and preferred. Otherwise, you're not decisive enough.
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
what
like,
I've gotten.
It's like kind of wimpy. Why can't he decide?
Sarah, is that true? Do you feel that that's true?
Max, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
What, like if you can't come up with a plan, then you're indecisive?
Yeah.
That girls are very...
No. Not even come up with a plan. Just ask for their input. Like, what do you prefer, meat or dairy?
Oh my god.
They just want you to pick.
I'm serious.
They find it very unattractive to do stuff. That's what we've gotten. We've been dating for a while. Is that, I mean, what do you think from a woman perspective?
That's definitely a woman thing. Like one of those things where you cannot make any sense of the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like
it's not logical.
And exactly, it's not
That's
logical.
It's hard
it's
for
irrational.
a date guy.
It's very hard for me as a date analyst to not be logical.
It's kind of
try going
like,
on a date like at 6 o'clock after getting off work at 5. It's like
oh my god,
serious decompression has to happen.
You haven't even like thought about your day at work and you're just like zooming to this date.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
why I said you should have the date at work.
Oh gosh.
And by the way, when I say at work, you're not there the whole time. You're there for like 20 minutes and then you go somewhere else.
I work from
For
home.
the record.
Can we do that?
Yeah, what happens if you work remotely?
If a girl's willing to meet you in your house, things are going well, obviously.
Anyways,
I work from my bedroom.
but anyways, I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, the decisiveness factor. So there's that.
Right. So
let's go back. So what we were saying was like it's hard for like there's a lot that goes in initially, right? A lot of effort in the driving and the expense and the miles you put in your car. There's a lot. It accumulates.
It does accumulate.
And again, I'm very happy to spend that kind of money on someone that I like, or even if someone I certainly don't want to spend money on someone I don't like. But I also understand that I'm not gonna know if I like someone or not until I meet them in person, right? Which is also totally fine.
Right.
But I do find like the more I like somebody, the more, like just the happier I am to just shell out cash.
So, what's the most expensive that you spent on a date?
On a date, let's look.
Let's go to the
I
dashboard.
don't know if I have that number offhand, but I can definitely show you. Hold on.
A good data analyst is not someone who memorizes
Like
numbers,
ever or
The most expensive date you've ever been on?
ever. So not just this past year.
Oh, it could be this past year. Sure, 2023.
Hold on. 1 second. The date itself. 1 second.
By the way, for the record, if anyone thinks that what happened to my voice, I lost it somehow.
Yeah,
So
what
just
happened?
FYI. I don't know, you're
In the
nurse.
middle of the podcast, it literally just went out.
Oh, did it? No, I mean, I've had a very shoddy voice this whole week.
Yeah.
But it sounded normal.
That's been going around. I don't know, the laryngitis with like a little bit of a cold. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that time of year. What you're saying, like I was normal the whole time until like...
Your voice was a little off, I would say, but like the second half of this podcast, it kind of just like... it stopped. I don't know.
That's so funny. Yeah, I hear it.
So I'm seeing about $200.
$200?
Do you have the data of what you did? Or
you must
whatever?
have liked this girl, Gavriel.
This was an ex-girlfriend of mine. Yes, I took her to the UN Plaza Grill,
Ah, nice.
which is a beautiful restaurant. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Yes.
I was there once. I will say I was not so impressed.
It was just a bad date. It was just a bad date.
I went with my friend, actually. It was like a girlfriend, like...
It was too dark, like not happening enough.
No, it was like I was not impressed with the food.
Oh, really?
It was like really expensive, and I was expecting the best, and I was like, want. But I mean, if you liked it, I'm not gonna yuck somebody's yum.
All right, I like that.
Oh, okay,
I
good.
I like that phrase. It's a very Sarah phrase.
Yuck, somebody's young.
Yes. Yuck, somebody's young. I'm gonna remember that one. But yeah, that's just like the most expensive. That's the most expensive date I think I've ever spent. Like the most money I've ever spent on a date.
That wasn't a first date, was it? Or
No, this was like
Now, let me ask you, Gabriel, has a girl ever like offered to spend money on you? Like offered to pay for the date?
Rarely. I have a funny story. I have a funny story about this. I have a few stories, but this one specifically.
oh, please share.
I went out with a girl from Brooklyn, so we'd go out for coffee, and both. Usually, when I plan a date, like I've done this enough times that I know, like sometimes, my first option isn't open, even though it says online that they are open, and even though I've called them before,
Yep.
that they're,
yeah,
you know how it is. So I try to have a plan and then a backup, and in this case, both backups were closed.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah. So this girl's from Brooklyn. We ended up going Sushi Tokyo. All right.
Sushi Tokyo.
Which is fine. The one in Brooklyn. There's another one.
okay.
There are a few of them, I think, right? So the one in Brooklyn. So we went there, and we get there. We sit down, and she says, "This might sound weird, but would you mind if I paid for my bill?"
So interesting.
Like my first thought, just women.
Wait, not
for all the
both of
women
your
listening.
bill, just her food.
Yes. So for all the women listening, like my first thought, and I think, and Max could speak for himself, and I think this is the case for a lot of guys. When they hear a girl offer to pay for their half of the bill, or it usually means they're not enjoying themselves very much.
Really?
Maybe I'm generalizing here. I think a lot of certainly if they're more traditional, if they're more traditional for me types, then yes, because otherwise I'd be happy to take your money.
Right.
So that came out wrong. Sorry.
You're.
I'd be happy for you to spend money on them, but if they don't like you, they don't want to have anything to do with you. They don't want to be indebted to you in any way.
Right.
Right. So let me just pay my bill and never see this guy again.
Right. I agree with you, but as we were saying, when someone offers to pay, that it is really nice. I think it's really the way they do it versus what they do. Meaning, don't. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but don't use the words, well, let me pay for my half of the bill, versus when the bill comes and you're like, oh, no, let me help you. It's a very different.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
because the latter sounds like you, you probably can't afford it, so let me help you. That's what it sounds like.
Let me ask you, was this your first date with her?
Yeah.
And she offered to pay for her half.
Yeah, so I responded. I said, I was very taken aback, and I said,
So it's going that well, huh?
Whatever.
Yeah.
This is a girl who said to me, to my face, what do you even do for work anyway?
Yeah.
That's what I said to Shlomi.
She literally, oh yeah?
So,
data
and
analyst.
today,
Shlomi used to be a data
Girls
analyst.
only understand, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this, they understand doctor, lawyer, and dentist.
No, that's not true.
She also
Max.
said to me, to my face, is this even your car? Yes, true story.
He drives like a nice car.
What's your car?
That's his car.
What do you drive?
I drive a Lexus.
Ladies.
Oh my God! Maybe she wanted a Ferrari. Come on,
Listen,
Gavriel.
you can't please everyone.
Oh my gosh!
Is what
But
That
you
is
should have
amazing.
known. You should have
But
known.
I swear to, she looked me in the eye.
No.
Is this
okay.
even your car?
Shame on her.
That tone, okay? Anyway, so I told her, listen, I'm very happy. I never expect that. I'm
Right.
very happy to spend, to pay for both of us.
Not after that comment.
Well, yeah.
But then she explained. She said, "I'm a foodie, and I want to get some really nice stuff, a lot of stuff, and expensive stuff, and I wouldn't feel comfortable asking somebody else to pay for my food." And
Oh, this was before you guys even ordered.
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Before you even ordered, she offered
But after
to
she
pay.
asked me those socially inappropriate questions.
That's so interesting.
This is.
I'm a data analyst. I'm
Okay, did you guys-
I'm talking about what's socially appropriate and who am I to speak on that?
So did you guys
Self-awareness.
go out? Let me ask
important.
you. Did you guys go out on a second date after this?
No.
Okay.
No.
Shocker.
I was very turned off by that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think it is a little odd that she.
No.
would
I was turned off by the question she asked me, not the
What was
offering
the
to pay for the date.
question?
Looking at me in the eye and asking me those questions.
Oh, like
Is this
about
really
your
your
car?
car?
Yeah,
That's the biggest. It's such a turn. It's so.
that was more of a turn off than
What a
There was
schmuck
a
thing to
guy.
say.
There was a guy who picked
I
me
wasn't
up.
turned off by her offering. No, because then she ended up spending like $40, $50 on sushi.
So yeah, no, I think.
Oh, so at the end of the
Which I wasn't prepared to
at
like.
the end
No, I
of the
think-
date, she
I
actually
actually-
paid for.
So I did
herself.
accept, yes.
No, because
Okay.
if she's gonna run up the bill, I think that's
I
good.
spent like $10 and she spent 50. Like it's
right.
like,
No, I think that's what she did before.
So that was I was on the fence about that girl. I was like, should I? Shouldn't
Can I just say about the car thing? There was a guy who picked me up in a 1985 Chevy,
Oh, wow.
and I was
probably
like,
really attractive from Pittsburgh.
I was like, this is my type of car.
They don't like to spend money in Pittsburgh.
No,
No.
not at all.
I like that.
But what I was gonna say, what was I gonna say?
So it's
about
rare.
it?
So yeah, so it does happen. That's just one story. It's happened a few other times. Mostly not. Mostly it's, the norm is that you pay for the day, which I'm okay. I'm okay with. I don't have this, these big opinions on, if we should split it or whatever it is. I certainly would never ask like a girl to pay for my travel costs. Is that a thing?
No, not your travel costs.
I mean,
but, like,
maybe
No, that's
we should
terrible.
start it.
No, you both are
We'll make it a
sitting-
thing.
No,
No.
do not do that. But no, you both are sitting there, and she reaches for the check instead of you and says, "I'm happy to do this for you," or "I'm happy to do this," regardless of knowing if you're gonna go out on a second date or whatever. Like, just no agenda around it. Just like asking, offering.
I think what should happen is if you're being set up by a shotgun and the date is so bad, you should send the bill to her. Send the bill to the shotgun.
Send the bill to the shotgun.
So that they shouldn't be just sending quote unquote ideas, but very thoughtful ideas, not just random.
Obviously, that's not going to happen. But if we could do that, it would hold them accountable.
Exactly.
That's actually really
because now they have
interesting.
skin in the game, right?
Yeah,
They have no skin in the game.
Because now they don't. Right now, Shakalam don't have any concern or care. Like, here are 15 resumes. None of them make sense. But that's why not.
That isn't.
Also, you should go out with all of them.
Yeah. Why not at the same time?
Yeah.
I was going to say that's an interesting take on having the shotgun foot the bill. If you're setting them up, you foot the bill.
Yeah. If it sucks that much.
You should know
Or not even. If she has an opinion on where you should be taking this girl, you pay for it.
Exactly. I agree with you.
I don't think. I think like if a shotgun offered to pay my costs, like I would definitely be my travel costs and all that. Like I think I would be more willing to go out with someone.
Well, that's what happened to me. It's not necessarily a shotgun, but let's say a family friend who he was really pushing this girl, and I was very on the fence or wasn't, and then the second he's like, I'll even offer to pay for it, and I'll never actually take his money. The fact that he's willing to put his money where his mouth is, I don't care who it is.
I respect that.
I respect that, and I went out with the girl. Wasn't a good date at all, but when someone's willing to do that, I mean, it pushed it over the top. No question.
My father said he was a shotgun for my sister or my sister's sister-in-law, right? So my brother-in-law's sister. He was a shotgun about a year after my sister got married to my brother-in-law, and he met a guy. He knew a guy from Passaic. That's where I grew up. He knew him from shul, and my father was impressed by the way this guy davened.
Wow.
And my father went over to him, and he said, "I have a girl for you."
Nice.
He probably thought like, this guy in shul, like, fair enough, right? It's probably what he thought. And at first he said, no, I can't, whatever it is. My father told him, listen, like, I will pay for your travel costs.
That's what it takes.
I will pay
There
for
you
the
go.
cost of the date. I think this is a really good idea. He said that, so he put his money where his mouth was. And I think if I remember the story correctly, I think it's pretty much based on that. Like, I think the guy, Chaim, shout out to you, he was impressed. He was impressed that like my father was willing to,
Like
risk
he knew
something.
that the date was going to be good, or he
Or at
knew
least
that
he was
it
willing
was
to,
worth
like,
he's willing to
something.
put it up.
Yeah.
There was something worth to the date.
Yeah, and he said
And-
yes, and the rest is
Wow,
history. And,
wow.
Well, he said yes to the date, but refused to take my father's money. So
Oh.
definitely a mensch. But he was impressed.
Oh, so he didn't take the travel
It's
costs.
not about.
But okay.
It's not about the
Now they
money.
have like
It's
3 or
just
4 kids. Yeah.
because we just feel like we're taking advantage of all the time. Like here's this and here's that. Go out with this person, and it's really you tell me if I'm wrong. It's the mental. It's just you're just tired of it.
It's everything, dude. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
If it was only, I wish it was only the money.
Right.
Put it that way.
Right.
I wish. But it's the mental exhaustion. It's the sitting in traffic, which is just draining. It's the getting turned down. Not
Yeah.
a nice feeling.
No,
Listen, it is what it is, But
It's just that when someone's willing to literally, they're so convinced that this is good and they're willing to like put their money where their mouth is. As you said, in my case, in his case, we're not actually taking the money. It's not about the money. We want to see like, wow, this person's legit. This person's really serious about it. And that's when we take it serious.
Right. Okay. So, is there anything else you wanted to talk about on your dashboard, Gavriel?
And not my dashboard per se. I think it's important to. I want to spend a few minutes just talking about how like guys and girls both can work on each other and work together to make this the dating process. So it's arduous enough.
Yeah.
And I realize like everybody. This is something I've been realizing a lot more over the past year or two. Just how hard it is for everybody.
Yeah.
I might feel like I'm putting in a ton of effort, but for spending so much money and travel time and all that stuff. But the fact is, the girls are putting forth a tremendous amount of emotional energy, and getting ready.
Yeah, they get ready. They put their makeup on, but
all that stuff.
Do their hair, maybe buy a nice outfit.
Right, all that stuff. That's certainly something.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes even more than what I'm doing.
Usually, it's like guys think it's like really for the guy, but it's for the girl.
Right.
So I don't know. Is it like for whatever? But
but they also have to put up a lot. They have to put up with creepy guys, and what's a guy, all that stuff. And I think a lot of that should be like let's not guys and girls both. Let's not go jump to the absolute worst conclusion. Right. I'm talking to myself here too, because I'm definitely.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, can I bring something up? I just want to get your take on this, but guys and girls are very different when it comes to communication, and something that a guy would say or do to us doesn't seem to be anything, but to a girl is like the biggest turn off in the world.
The ick.
What?
The ick.
The ick?
Yeah, the ick.
Oh, I hear. What's your opinion on like as far as what I feel like it works both ways also, but girls can to understand, like, guys are probably going to say one or two, like they're a complete creep or anything like that. That's a different story. But if he says one thing that she may have thought it was different, but in reality, it's really nothing. Like, what's your opinion on that?
I think it goes back to what I just said, right? Of like, let's not jump to the worst conclusion. Like, probably, like if it's one thing,
give him the benefit of the doubt.
He probably didn't mean it, or he said something stupid, or he probably or you might have misinterpreted it.
Right.
Like, it doesn't just because someone said something, and I've had that experience before.
Right.
This happens all the time with texting.
Right. I will say
you misinterpret things all the time, and that can happen in person too, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard when you do have a shadchan in between.
This is why I don't like shadchanim. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have a shadchan be in between anymore.
See,
even if the shadchan sets me up with a girl, I always insist on talking to her directly.
It's hard to communicate with the person that you're going out with when you have somebody in between who themselves is not understanding what you're saying completely. And then you're in a really hard situation because you want to, let's say you do want to speak directly to this girl, right? But it's the it's the first or second date, and she doesn't want to speak directly to you yet over the phone, and she wants to go through the shachan. Now you're in a communication situation where you really just want to explain something, but the shachan isn't understanding what you're saying, and she interprets it the wrong way, and then the date's over.
I don't date in those circles. Like, I always insist on speaking, even if I don't talk to her, like on the phone, but definitely texting, just to arrange a date and all that. Like, I would never have the shadchan being the soul in between.
Really?
I think it happened once years ago, and then the shadchan refused to give me her number.
Interesting.
And I just said, I can't do this.
Good for you. The fact that if you didn't see it was moving one way and you just walked away, a lot of people won't do that. They'll just complain.
Yeah, usually.
Well, what if that happens like 4 or 5 dates in, 6 dates in?
After
what
5
happens?
dates, like that's kind
And
of
and like a shadchan's still playing, broken telephone between you two.
that's too much.
It
They
can
want you to get married by the
happen.
7th date. You can't talk to her before.
It depends what the girl wants, and then sometimes what the guy wants.
It depends on where, what circles you run in, I think.
It does, right? But I mean, we're basically talking about circles that involve shadchanas. So
even most shadchanim, like, who set me up, and I get set up by plenty of shadchanim. You want to know? Let's see how many.
You have that? You have that?
I do. Let's see how many.
It's amazing.
Source. Let's see how many. Ever.
The fact that we're only audio, like, to just witness.
It doesn't do it justice.
Are
29 women have been. I've been set up with 29 women through shadchanim.
Through
a
shadchanim.
yeah.
And how many women have you been set up with without shadchanim?
Without. I can't say that. Then I'll have to say
don't
how
say-
many girls I've gone out with.
That's fine.
That number I'm not going to give.
Oh.
Would you be okay
Wait to subtract it.
Would you be okay with us posting on Instagram your dashboard? Or is I feel like that's a lot.
No.
Yeah.
You can DM me.
What?
You can DM me. We can discuss.
You want people to DM you?
Yeah.
Especially if you're
What are you talking about? You want random
Slide
people to...
into my DM.
So what's your Instagram?
My Instagram. I'll give it to you after.
You give it to me? Or
Oh, hold on. Let me. Ugh.
Do you need to look to see what your Instagram page
I
is?
think it's Levy Gavriel or Gavriel Levy. You'll find me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, I posted last, I think, in 2018. so
And remember, you
definitely-
can always email us at goodforshidduchim@gmail.com for all of your shidduchim needs. Or if you want to get in touch with Gavriel.
If you want to date Gavriel,
Feel
send a
free.
resume there.
Feel free.
Right.
You'll have to, you might have to apply, put some data into the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Trust me, ask go through me. So
But yeah, shadchan, yeah. So I think it depends on the person, but overall, even a shadchan, even if I get set up through a shadchan, I'll insist on being in touch with the girl directly because I don't want to have all these miscommunications happen. I find it does help.
Yeah.
It does.
But you also have to have the girl willing to be okay with that. Sometimes the girl doesn't
that's
like
great.
it.
No, that's great for me because if a girl refuses to go out with me because of that, then I know she's too
Then you know.
for me. She's too intense. She's too rigid.
Okay.
And that's not for me. So
it's not for
it's
you.
a good process of filtering the data slumber, right?
Filtering the data.
that's right.
Yes. But also, let me just want to say something about like using like data and personal information. Data is just information,
Right.
and using it to your advantage. If you're gonna, I noticed like I've only gone out with girls from New York, New Jersey mostly.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm still single, so it hasn't quite worked. So maybe I should try going out with someone from out of town, right? Be more open-minded in that area. If I'm going to the same gosh darn coffee shop every single time and it's not working, why not switch it up? I'm totally serious. I think a lot of people take it for granted. Oh, I'll go. Because also, like you get like stuck in a routine. Okay, I'm going to Queens, so I'm going to take this girl out to this place.
I did go out with a guy who
I'm a little bit guilty of that, but-
my friend
We all are.
had gone out with.
I'm trying to get better.
3 of my friends gone out with this guy, and we all sat down and said where we went on each date, and it was literally the
same place.
same
Yeah.
places. And we were like, maybe he should like switch it up a little bit.
Want to
Yeah.
hear a funny story? I was at Bravo's Pizza in Manhattan once. It was Saturday night. The place was packed. Okay, and I'm talking like sardines, right? You can imagine what it's like on Motzei Shabbos.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting down with my date, and I'm sitting across from her, and then I look to my left side, and who is it? It's my first ex-girlfriend's best friend.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, oh no. Then I look to her, like my immediate left, because I'm across, right?
Right.
So and guess who's sitting there?
Your ex?
Yes.
Oh my god.
True story. I
Yes.
promise you this is a true story.
That is. What did you do?
I did a double take and I took a second or two to compose myself.
Yeah.
And I pretended she wasn't there.
So awkward.
So you ignored her.
What was I going to do?
I have no idea.
Hey, how's it
I don't
going?
know.
Hey!
Hey, so I'm on a date.
You're
now.
married. So good to see you. Mazel tov. You got married 3 years ago,
Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
But anyways,
stuff.
it was so nice to have you, Gavriel.
So nice to be on here. Thank you for having me. This
I
is
think
fun.
we had a really good idea of the spending habits with guys on dates, and it was a good idea to bring up just to be kinder, and everybody's kind of in the same boat. Emotions are running really high. And just take into perspective, have a little bit of communication. I think that's very important and is overlooked, I think, in the dating
Yes.
process.
We're so busy trying to find the reason to say no to somebody.
Right.
It's
Just
like, let's do less of that.
just relax.
Just try to find more reasons to say yes and to keep moving.
Right. Or just like relax, not put so much pressure on yourself, pressure on the guy. Just everybody take a step back and breathe. It doesn't have to be so
Amen.
pressured.
Amen.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the end of our episode today. If you guys want, please follow us on our Instagram page at Good for Shidduchim and email us at GOODFORSHIDDUCHIM at gmail.com. Dang, that thing doesn't get shorter anytime I say it.
We wanted to like change it to GFS at Gmail, but then Sarah's like, but we already told people to email us at the other one, so
I don't know what to do.
It's like comedians in cars getting coffee.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know. Maybe we will change it, but then we have to have a disclaimer so people don't We'll think about
figure
that.
it out. We'll figure it out. But anyways, great to have you on.
Thanks for having me, Max.
No,
Thank
my
you,
pleasure.
Max. Thank you, Sarah.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Wishing you much success.
Until next time.
And remember, everything will always be about Shidduchim. Catch you in the next episode.